Hey, what's up, Hotep, you guys? Welcome back to the Chosen Few channel. I'm your host, Matthew Daniels, the writer, author, scribe, and you guessed it, the bookworm. But I'm not just a bookworm, world. I am the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, may your name live on forever, and may your memory, family, your memory never die. May you live on in the memory of all of your descendants and people that appreciate the work that you put in while you were alive. Today, we're going to be talking about accountability, family. We're going to be talking about accountability, family. Real quick, we're talking about accountability. The reason why most officials, most people with positions of power in your city, right? The reason why that they do the things that they do is because there's no accountability. They do it because they're not punished, right? They do it because there's no repercussions. They mess over the public because there's no accountability. They aren't held accountable for it, family. You understand what I'm saying? It's like when you have a child, right? And your child does something that they're not supposed to do. You may punish the child. You may ground them. You may take something from them. You may put them in the corner. You may pop them. Any of those things. You may ground them from their game. You may make them go to bed early. Anything. But you give them consequences and you punish them. You hold them accountable for their actions. We know this. We know that you kind of teach people and you remind people to do that which is right by holding them accountable and punishing them when they do things that are wrong. So the story I'm going to tell you today, family, is about accountability. Way back in the BCE days. This story is a real story. Way back in the BCE days. I'm talking about before Christ, before the Common Era, when Cambyses was king of Persia. We're talking about 2,500 years ago. When Cambyses was the king of Persia, right? There was a corrupt judge. This corrupt judge was accused, and he was guilty, but this corrupt judge was accused of taking a bribe. How many judges you know take bribes? But this corrupt judge under Cambyses took a bribe. He took money to give an unrighteous judgment. When this accusation made it to the ears of the king had him arrested. And when it was proven that he did something corrupt, he violated the sanctity, the righteous sanctity of that office of a judge to deliberate over people's lives. You know what he did? He had him sentenced to be skinned alive. Skinned alive. Skinned alive, family. That was the punishment. He had to be held accountable for that corrupt judgment. Right? Judges shouldn't take money to mess over people. You give a right. If you're a judge, you give a righteous judgment every single time. And if you are caught being corrupt there, you need to be held accountable. We're talking about accountability, family. So this corrupt judge, his name was Sisamnes, he got skinned alive. And then Cambyses, he told his workers to take the skin of this corrupt judge and sew it onto the judge's chair. There was a chair that the judges sat in to give their deliberations, to render their judgments on whatever cases were before them. So Cambyses the king had his people sew the skin of the corrupt judge Sisamnes to the judge's chair, to remind his successor as he was sitting in the chair, sitting on the skin of his predecessor, to remind his successor, the new judge, to always do that which is right. And what's crazy, family, the new judge was the son of Sisamnes. The new judge was the son of the corrupt judge. The new judge had to sit on a chair that was covered in the skin of his father. And that was meant, and I bet it worked too. I bet every time a thought came up in that son's mind, the new judge, to do something corrupt, he thought twice. And I'm sure he did his best to give a righteous judgment because he didn't want to end up like his daddy. So we're talking about accountability, family. They have to be held accountable. You know, they have to be held accountable. And so that is what me and my brother did with the book Big Game Hunting. We began to hold people accountable everywhere. We held the media accountable. We had our local newspaper media accountable. We held the beat cops accountable. We held the police chiefs accountable. We held the police captains accountable. We held the mayors accountable. We held the city commissioners accountable. We held the Chamber of Commerce accountable. We held the citizens accountable. Right? This book is all about accountability, family. They have to be held accountable for their crimes. When I committed crimes, I was sent to prison. I did my time. I came back. I'm still suffering from it today in some instances, because when you put that you have a felony on some paperwork, it's hard to get housing. It's hard to get an apartment. It's hard to get a job. It's hard, right? It's hard. But I had to be held accountable for that which I did. Accountability is the word of the day, family. They need to be held accountable, and they lucky they're not getting skinned, and they lucky their skin isn't being sewn onto a chair. They're lucky that this is the accountability, right? Wouldn't you rather have big game hunting than to become Sisamnes, right? All the city officials that's acting crazy over big game hunting, acting like this is just the worst thing in the world that me and my brother could do, is bang on them and then put this book out and show the world their corruption. They act like that's the worst thing in the world we could do. Well, can Bicey skin a corrupt judge alive? Would you rather be skinned alive? I think not. I think not. So you need to be happy that big game hunting is all you're getting right now. You need to be happy that you're getting this and you're not getting skinned, family. But look, all books by the scribe Matthew Daniels is available at dandyandbigherm.com. Obviously, I got the Revolutionary Manifesto of me and Core Figure King Y going hard on corruption in our area, holding them accountable in our area. All facts. We've been pushing it. No one has come out and said that we're lying. No one has said cease and desist. No one has told me to take the book off the shelves. No one has drugged me to court. No one has tried to sue me for writing the book. So you know it's all true. You can get that on dandyandbigherm.com. Link is in the description. I have 2 urban fiction novels, Suicide Note, Thicker Than Water, and I have 1 story, the greatest love story ever written, that I wrote for my wife, called My Beautiful and Loving Wife. So y'all click that link in the description. Y'all support your brother. Go buy those Matthew Daniels books, man. Hey, accountable. Hold officials accountable. This your brother Matthew Daniels, aka I'm Pooh, aka the Chosen Few, aka the real bookworm. But I'm not just a bookworm, I'm the real bookworm. Make sure you get it right. And as always, family, may your name live on forever, and may your memory never die. It's good. Hotel.